I'm so excited about this new Bible study we're doing at Women's Life Fellowship. We really didn't spend a whole lot of time praying about which one we were going to do, but the Lord did send us in this direction. It's called Discerning the Voice of God by Priscilla Shire. And those of you that are joining and doing it with us, if you would like to make a comment at the end of this blog, I'm going to ask you some questions, and Meredith's going to share some of her thoughts. But I wanted to go through each day what we're doing. The first day in Discerning the Voice of God is expecting to hear it. And the main principle was clear communication with God begins when I approach God. That means you got to be praying and talking to Him. And His word with anticipation, expecting Him to speak. I had a lady tell me this week that she was like, I just never thought about that when I prayed, actually expecting God to speak. Day 2, waiting patiently for it. This is my worst one. I hate this one. The process of waiting for a message from God is just important as the message itself. That is something that I am learning myself personally, that I want God to answer right then, but He's more interested in me getting to know Him through the process. So He may take some time in giving the answer. Day 3, let me see. Day 3 is planning to obey it. Okay, I also had another woman share with me that was the one that she realized she was not doing, obeying. Obedience is the key to hearing His still small voice. You may be thinking, God, speak to me, I want to hear your voice. But you've not been obeying Him in the things you know to do, the basic things. Then day 4, you have to listen for it. I must carve out time purposely listening for His voice through prayer, meditation, and word worship. Ladies, we've got to take the time to do this. I know you're busy. We're right there with you. Meredith works a full-time job. She's involved in the ministry, has a home, a husband to care for. We are busy, but we must carve out time to listen. And when I say when you're in your prayer time, just at the end, pardon this, but just shut up a little bit. Go through your prayer time with the Lord and then just sit there and listen to what He has to say to you. And then the last one is have faith in it. And that's where trust comes in. Faith is in God's word is necessary to hear from God and clearly discern His voice. You got to believe that when you've prayed, you're not praying wavering like the sea. You are praying in faith, knowing that God can and He will answer that prayer. So I asked Meredith to share, as she's gone through her Bible study, some things that she just, Lord spoke to her about through it. Meredith?
Okay. Well, there's so many things that I loved about this. It's hard to just pick out one. But let's see. Expecting to hear it just made me realize that so many times I pray, and then I don't even expect that God's going to say something about what I pray about. I just kind of move on. And that kind of goes hand in hand with wait patiently for it, because I will ask everybody else's opinion. I can't figure out something to do. I'm praying about it, but I want to know your opinion. I want to know 10 different people, and then I'll consolidate that, and then I'll make a decision. And I never waited on God to hear. And then I think I get impatient. If He doesn't hear, then I don't know. I'm just going to do my own thing. He must not want to talk to me. So I know I've got to both expect and then just sit still. Just shut up, right?
Yeah. Shut up.
In my time with God, and really in my time with others too, that I'm not bringing up this thing, hoping that somebody's going to give me an answer, because really it doesn't matter what you think or what anybody else thinks. It matters what God thinks. And then I love the aggressive listening that she was talking about, the difference between passive listening and aggressive listening. I know in my job, I do passively listen sometimes, and that's usually not effective. But if I aggressively listen, I'm sitting up, I'm asking, what does that mean? When you said that, I heard you say that, and I heard you say that. And then when I sit with God and when I read, and instead of just kind of reading through, I aggressively listen. I go back, okay, well, wait a minute, God, you said that. What does that mean? I kind of say it over and over again to myself. And then I sit and I wait and I worship, like she was talking about. And I want to hear, and I aggressively listen, not just, I got to get this done, I got 10 minutes to finish. And that does take time, which is difficult, but I think the end result is worth it. And I know in my life, I want to hear from God. I don't want it to just be other people's opinion or going on my best guess, because in the past when I've done that, it's not usually worked out very good. And I can think of a lot of times in the past where it could have been better. had I waited and aggressively listened and expected him to answer.
Okay, so what we're trying to get across is we've both had times in our lives where we have gone through the devotional thing and we don't get much from it. I can personally tell you that in the last at least year to year and a half of my life, where I have taken all of these principles and really applied them to my life, God has spoken to me. I know for a fact he has spoken to me. And I listen for him now. I listen for him. I pray knowing he's going to answer. I'm praying for a man right now, a husband of a wife that I work with, and I'm praying that he's going to be saved. And I pray believing. I know God is going to answer that. He's going to answer my prayer. So, what are you learning? What has God taught you from your 5 days of your study? And we're so glad you're with us. If you're not with us, please come join us. It's never too late to join in. Our Bible study is on Monday night at 7 o'clock.